everybody, welcome to What the Flick Girls, Season 5, right?
Yep,
Episode 8, Homeward Bound. My wife described it as the most awkward 30 minutes of television she'd ever seen in her entire life.
Oh my
Totally
God.
on board with that.
Yeah. It's just
What?
Hannah.
What is the last 2 episodes for Hannah? I wish Anna was here so we could be like, what self-respecting woman? Who thinks that that's what that person wanted at that point in time?
What?
Like, why?
What in the
do you-
ever-loving fuck? Yeah.
Yeah. They offer to like do his laundry. Like, be a nice fucking person. Like, what are you doing?
Hey, you've been driving, you drove up here. If you want to pull over and have a cup of coffee, I'll rub your shoulders for 30 minutes. Yeah, you know.
I'll buy you dinner.
Right, I'll
Yeah,
buy you,
this
I'll
is
buy
a-
you a burger and
This
rub
is
your neck.
officially a pathology now,
I
I
will-
think. Like,
I will creepy suck your dick involuntarily in a car while we're
Oh,
what?
God. Yeah, it's like, don't they know that's how Murnau died, you know? You gotta like, keep eyes on the road, Ray.
I just knew it was an accident. That was what was going on?
Yeah, oh yeah.
No, I mean, it was a 14-year-old Filipino boy, right?
Yeah, houseboy.
Yeah.
Houseboy, yeah. I mean, just having him drive to begin with.
Well, also a mistake.
Also
but
a
yes.
mistake, yeah. I didn't. Yeah. So anyway, it's a terrible, terrible, terrible idea. Reminds me of a story.
Oh god.
No. So Angie Dickinson, who through TCM, mercifully, I've gotten to be friends with, as the story goes. She's with the boys, right? You know, with Frank and Dean and everybody, and they're out one night and they're telling war stories about crazy sex situations they've been in, and the story goes is that they say to Angie, you know, what about you? You got to have a crazy story, and she's married to Burke Bachrach, and she says, well, I once gave Bert a blowjob in the car, and they're like, you know, we're the Rat Pack. We were actually looking for a little more than just that, Angie. And she goes, oh, well, I was driving.
And scene.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
Yeah. So God bless. Anyway, so, but yes, but I thought, I think Ray would have resisted more. I think
Me
who
too.
Ray is would have been
Yeah.
like, hey, Hannah, please,
Knock it
Yeah.
off.
knock it
Like-
off. Let's go get something food to eat, you know?
Yeah, it's almost like her little monologue of stupidity like won him over
Right.
for a second.
Right,
which
because he's a guy and he couldn't, but I mean, you know what?
I don't buy
we
that.
actually
There are
can.
some standards.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
I believe
But
men
let's
have
go back to the
standards.
beginning though, where she like, you know, they've got this huge 3-month road trip ready to go, and like at the first rest stop she bails, and she bails in a way where she doesn't even want to be face to face with Fran, which so is in her thing of last week of like, you know, I didn't show my vagina to the principal to be sexual, I showed it to get out of trouble. So she's 12, you know, it's like, it's all about it's such an immature thing of like, I don't want to make this trip, and I don't want to actually have to look at you while I tell you that I don't want to do this trip. So I'm just going to text you from inside the bathroom and hope that you'll go
and then
away.
the running.
So
And run
crazy.
through the men's room.
Right,
Yeah.
in pajamas.
Loved
Yeah.
her falling over that tree.
Yeah, no, it was
though.
funny,
That was so funny. In terms of physical comedy, I was so happy. Anytime she runs, it's funny, and the fact that she like dropped over that she knows how to work that.
She does.
It's
she does.
really funny.
No, it was great. I mean, you're in agony both in that scene as she's running, and then in the scene with Ray, and then Jessa also. I mean, and then we get the humor of all that and the sort of over the top awkward comedy, and then get this hammer dropped on Adam's sister and
Laird.
you know, and where it's just like stunningly emotional from her.
And tragic.
And tragic,
Yeah,
yes.
no, horrifying.
Well, where is Laird now? Is he just gone too? Because I'm wondering
I
if they
think
both
he's
just
probably
are
getting a
gonna bail
nap
out.
now because somebody else is taking care of the baby. For
My
a
hunch
change.
is Laird will be back. I don't see Laird
Oh,
running
yeah.
too. But who knows? He may have gone to get high or
Yeah, because
something.
he was a heroin addict.
Yeah.
Special
So
moment.
right. So
Yeah, I
bad.
didn't know that.
So bad things could certainly.
But
come
yeah,
there.
I mean, like the whole notion that like the Jessa can't like get out of her own like also crazily immature headspace, and take care of a baby, and that I mean that Adam's line was a little on the nose, but then deservedly on the nose.
Yeah,
like, why do you need more attention than the baby does?
You're an adult.
Yeah.
I mean, Adam, almost certainly as the show began, a show about immature or or stunted emotional people, of which Adam was probably number one in the beginning, is now seemingly, with the exception of Ray, has passed all of them, right? I mean, Adam is together there. He's figured it out. He's even worried about peeing with the baby. You know, I mean,
he's at least.
That might be excessively.
No, it's excessive, but I mean,
but at least he cares.
He's thinking.
cares.
He's thinking. That's all.
But he's faced with
definitely excessive.
He's thinking Adam thoughts.
Right.
Here's the thing, though. I think a lot of what you can say that adulthood is about is when you are faced with a moment of crisis, do you come through or do you run?
Yeah.
And I think everybody else on the show would run, like, and they do. They have. Whenever it's like, do I keep my marriage together? Do I, am I there for my parents? Am I, there for this job or this career or whatever? They always take the path of least resistance. They leave Japan. They abandon people at rest stops, whatever.
Oh my God! How about the conversation about being on welfare
in the sushi bar, in the expensive sushi bar?
Right. So let's look at all of them. So all of them have had these truly incredibly immature moments in this show. Marnie's less identifiable, but still silly and still.
Actually, Marnie, I think, had a room to stand up for herself.
No, it did, but it comes on the heels of a situation that she put herself in, caused by her enormous.
Absolutely.
Yes, this episode in particular, Marnie sort of handled herself with Lisa Bonet fairly well.
Lisa Bonet and Guillermo Diaz this episode. That was pretty.
Oh, right, Guillermo Diaz. Right. Yeah.
Oh, he was great. What a cool character, and what a great turn for that conversation between him and
Totally.
Hannah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But anyway, so you were saying about people being immature.
But they're all they all sort of. We've talked so often in the show about how they've sort of risen to the occasion. They're getting more mature. Here, boom, setback. This is all of them, if you include Marnie's sort of the impulsive, foolish marriage that she knew she'd get out of, and the nonsense day with Charlie, and the manner in which she handled it all. And just being with Desi, it's so dumb, so dumb. And Desi is so dumb. Desi's dumber than all of them.
God, but the fact that he has the power now, what is that?
But they've all gone backwards.
Yeah.
They've all gone backwards.
Except for Adam.
Except for Adam, who has massively not gone backwards, but continues to sort of
step up.
And even before, you could already see, even the way he said, I can't worry about Hannah now. Like, I get it. This is probably going to irritate her. There's big grown-up stuff happening.
She goes, and how Hannah makes it all about herself. I'm like, what are you? There's a baby. Will you shut up with your 10th grade bullshit?
Yeah.
But I do think pursuing Hannah to begin with pursuing Jessa to begin with wasn't particularly grown up. I don't see that as a very
I disagree because I think it happened organically, and I think Jessa struck on a.
Pushed it, though.
No, but his
said
feeling
no
was
and he
organic.
pushed,
She may have said no, but that's not. And I respect the actual no's, but she was clearly interested. I mean, she said no, and they were drawn. I just mean they legitimately cared about each other, and
they aren't doing this just to get at.
They're not doing it.
They absolutely aren't. Right. But I do think there's a level of maturity that says this is this person's close friend, and maybe ruining her friendship isn't worth it for me. To date her.
I think if you end up in a meaningful relationship and they are not there yet.
If it ends up there,
then
it's worth it.
Then it trumps everything because
then it does.
That's too hard to find.
But we have no guarantee that will happen.
No,
and that's
especially
why
after
I think
this week.
it's still a little selfish. Like I still think.
Yeah, I feel so much less strongly about exes. Like they're exes, and you should be. It's incumbent on you to be done. But I know I know you disagree.
Adam could have played it better. I grant you. But
I was the one in the middle on that.
On the level of sins committed on this show, that's a minor one at this point. But compared to the other crap that all these people
and also, can't we at least acknowledge on that if Hannah had behaved more like a vague grown-up during the whole thing, like at some point you might think, for crying out loud, I've spent half my last 5 years tiptoeing around Hannah and her strange feelings and how she'll react. I care about her. Where everybody's broken up, or I care about him. Enough. And I think Hannah's own immaturity brought on some degree of lack of regard for how she might react to this, which makes me also less sympathetic to her.
I guess. They went back and forth a lot, though, when they were in a relationship over who was being the stupider one.
No question.
Like, it was really
no question.
not a mature...
Totally.
It's interesting, though. What about, what does this mean? Okay, the Ray thing. Because Ray is an ex of someone else in the group and another person.
Two other people in the group.
So does she ultimately... I mean, does she negate any high ground that she had at the point where she tries... to suck Ray's
Also,
dick.
but yes, that's interesting, and it also
Yeah.
made me think of how interesting it is that in every time that Hannah has referred to Jessa and Adam in these last 2 episodes, it's are they effing,
Yeah.
not are they a
they in
couple,
love?
Are they
in
together?
love? Are they
Yeah.
together? Are they connected? Is there something emotional?
That's true.
So she's not. And her answer, like she almost could handle that in the way that well, Ray, I merely surfaced Ray. Like that doesn't count Shosh or Marnie.
Got it.
Who might care. Marnie obviously has given up any ability to, any right to Ray, to me, I would
Yeah.
say.
Oh, I agree.
And so, but obviously, I want them to end up together because of that desire you have for television characters who were together once to get back together.
Sure.
Or just because Ray wants it.
Ray wants it, but
I
mostly,
like
but
Ray.
what you should want for Ray is something
Happiness.
different.
Somebody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
better.
Right,
kidding.
Ray, you're going to end up, this is going to work out for Ray in the end because he's like mature and smart and kind of funny and,
But again, as mad as we are at these characters, the show is still great.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the show keeps us involved with these people, all of whom need to be smacked in the face severely.
Oh, no, look at this conversation. It's been the easiest conversation we've ever had talking about how these characters frustrate you because the show's great. Yeah, no, thank you for making that. That should be made clear.
Yeah.
I'm not annoyed at these people. I want to see badly what happens next week.
Yeah.
She's a freaking genius, Lena Dunham. She's, even when you're thinking on paper, like, man, nobody would act this way. And then you see it, and she's such a good performer, too.
Yeah.
Like, and she sells it, and you're right. And little things like tripping on a log.
Yeah, that was
know.
brilliant.
And I think likability is way oversold
That's
on,
right.
on
Yes,
characters.
right, that's right.
Like that'll only take you so far. Like give me some unlikable, believable, interesting characters.
Billions.
And she was
Billions,
Yeah,
right, right.
she was fighting likability the whole time.
Yeah.
With the way she presented the show, so why even bother?
And
Sure.
so they,
To be
didn't
quite
give
frank.
it, like even that little scene with Fran, like you think, okay, he's gonna come, will you just come talk to me? She's gonna come. No, she's not gonna come talk to him. That's great. That's what Billions does. That's what Girls does. That's what Louis C.K. does all the time. Like doesn't give you that thing.
Didn't
that
she
you
have
expect.
luggage in that RV?
I'm sure. And who leaves
Just
Ray
go
alone?
to
on
a
the
homeless
road,
shelter,
too?
get some more stuff. She'll be fine.
Kind of true.
All right, great stuff. We
Two
got
more this
just
season.
2 more, right? 2
Yeah.
more. And only 1 more season
Yes.
to
yes.
wrap this up. All right, as always, great stuff. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.